Hi, Rohinton. So, hey, how was the time with Trista? Did you have a good time with your daughter there?
Yeah, it was good. Uh, Spent a couple of weeks. And by the way, how are things in Mumbai? Where have you
Mumbai,
gone?
Mumbai. We didn't miss you at much.
Oh, I hope
Yeah,
you've been on good behavior.
yeah. In fact, you remember that the only thing I missed about is that restaurant that we used to go to for that unlimited breakfast.
200 rupees.
200 rupees.
Yeah,
Yeah, at
I
Carter
remember
Road.
you eating 6 omelets at a time.
Yeah. Well, that has been shut down. That
What do you
particular.
mean?
Yeah. They stopped that breakfast. I think they couldn't afford
I
it.
told you, you eaten them out of house and home. Yeah, those guys couldn't sustain that. Going there 3 times a week, keeping on ordering.
Oh God, what can I tell you all guys here? We've come to a restaurant eating food, all are talking about other restaurants. All are real foodies, yeah.
Hey, hold it. Hi, Ziv. Yeah, Merry Christmas, man. How are you? What? When? Oh my God. And now? Where's the body?
What happened, man?
Nee, yaar. A friend of mine for past 30 years. He was dead drunk, just slipped in the bathroom and lost his life.
Oh, how come?
Drinking.
Oh, Lord. Bad.
Rohinton, you know what I'm thinking right now? It could have been me in his place.
You?
Yeah.
You're not an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yes, now I'm not an alcoholic, Rohinton. But it's a long time, it's a long story I got to tell you. It has to go back right into my childhood.
Tell me.
I was maybe about very young, maybe about 3 or 4 years when my parents separated.
Oh.
Yeah, and then between these messy court cases and custody battles and all those things, we then went to live with my mom, my 2 older sisters and me.
Okay.
And we didn't actually have a father, but life went on. It went on. We had a lovely childhood. Both my sisters and me, we were academically very good, and we were actually me. I was good in sports. I even
Sports?
yeah.
Good in sports. That's the new one. Anyway.
Yeah, but I was good in sports, and we had a good time. Life was wonderful.
So you had a happy childhood.
Yeah, happy
Then
child.
what happened?
Yeah, life was good, and I thought the worst was behind us. Till one fine day, I must have been about in the 10th standard, when my mom suddenly came home with a man, and she told us that this man is like your dad, treat him like your dad. And that kind of shook us all, you know. And we were, I mean, we were so possessive of my mom because she was the only thing that we had, and our life revolved around her. And suddenly to see this strange man, and life took an actual drastic change, you know.
Neighbors around you and all, and your relatives and all, they must have, I mean, how did they react?
What happened?
No, life took a drastic change, and my mom tried different methods of, trying to reconcile the two. But I somehow just couldn't get myself to accept him, this strange man, as my dad. And I began to feel a hatred. There was confusion. There was resentment. And as you said, yeah, neighbors, slowly as they came to know what was happening, I could feel the rejection creeping, you know. People who were good to me, good to my family, suddenly started avoiding me, and I felt lonely. It was during those days. It was like a major scandal.
I can imagine. I mean, of course, you went through an extreme traumatic experience, but there are many people I've seen in my workplace and around, where, homes are broken down. Sometimes the husband and wife are living in the same place, in the same home, but there's no family life, there's no togetherness, and there's a lot of hurt, and people try to, as you said with yours, maybe, alcohol, but people try to stress it down with different sorts of things, try to, gloss over it, maybe by becoming workaholic, or in your case, how do you become alcoholic? But what led you to alcohol?
See, as as I became lonely, as I became resentful, you know, I didn't have any friends because friends started just avoiding me, and I became too lonely, and I was wondering what to do with myself. Coming back home in the evening used to be ordeal. I had to make an effort to go back home because I just couldn't accept a person to be a dad who's not my dad, and there used to be frictions at home. He should try and I should, but it
How
was
did
horrible.
you start on alcohol?
As I was telling you, then I didn't know what to do, and then I met the same friend who died today. What an irony!
Oh.
And he had his own issues in life also, and he was having a drink, and I happened to be there, and he told me, "Come and have a drink. This is your solution." And after a lot of coaxing, I took that first drink, and strangely enough, Rohinton, I felt a kind of, my body started relaxing, and I felt kind of
Yeah, I can
something
relate to
that came and made me forget my problems and kind of numb my pain, and and the best thing about, the thing about this was the more you took, the better you felt. So it didn't stop at one peg. It continued and continued and continued.
Sure. But you didn't have a family at that time, in the sense that you were not married and all. So what happened after you got married and all, things got better?
No, I got married later in life, but the problem was, I carried my resentment, my anger, my hatred all into my married life. And then slowly, after the birth of my second kid, we had 2 kids. After the birth of my second kid, things started getting worse. And because of my alcoholism, I couldn't hold on to a job so regularly. I had to take a job for 2 months, mess it up, leave, then get frustrated, take out my anger on my wife, on my kid. It used to be miserable at home, And my
But
kid.
what about celebrations like Christmas time, like today,
Like Christmas days used to be planned to be a joyous occasion,
of course
bringing
it is.
the kids used to go around. They used to look, ordering sweets and getting new clothes and all those things used to be planned to be a good occasion. But Christmas, many people think it's a day where you can legally drink. So I started off.
Don't need an excuse.
Yeah, you don't need an excuse. So I had to tell my wife to this Christmas, get the bottle, and poor thing, she'd bring the bottle with great, this man is going to drink and we're going to have a nice time, have that dinner and all those things. But
tell me, you couldn't hold a job and you were drinking, not a very, cheap, expensive habit. How do you manage to, where do you get the money from?
for an alcoholic, getting money is least of his problems, Rohinton.
What do you say?
Yeah, I made sure I tried conning people. Yeah, I should con them, give them some, I had this great knack of having this pity me. And like the whole world is against me and I'm the...
You are paying for these snacks today.
No. No, I'm not paying for the snacks. I just left my wallet somewhere else.
You forgot your wallet.
That's an excuse I should use with them also. And I had to use that pity me and those who feel sorry, I had to have a drink. If I could get no people to buy a drink for me, I used to sell every saleable thing at home, right from a television to a pen, and I've even sold my kids' compass to get money to buy drinks.
Oh God, you're starting to sound like one of those guys who goes and sells his kidneys or something.
Don't joke, yeah, Dad.
It sounds like that.
It's a laughing matter, Rohinton, now, but I actually did that.
What? You're short of one kidney?
No, I got both my kidneys. I almost sold my kidneys, but God came and saved me that time. Yeah. So no, I almost sold my kidney, but God just came and today both my kidneys are intact. I'm a normal person. Yeah.
You mean you chickened out?
No, I didn't chicken out. It was God who came and saved me. Yeah.
Anyway, wow. That's wonderful. So you got both your kidneys. So then what happened? Where does this all end?
Great. Yeah, that's a good question. Where it all ended? My drinking habits got so much, I got into debt. My wife, family life was miserable. And I remember that day very clearly when I was sitting down to drink. It's not something you have to always drink. But that particular day I sat down to drink and I did a kind of an introspection on my life. And I looked at me and I said, evaluate myself. I said, as a father, I'm useless. I've never even imbibed any kind of values into my children. Both my kids were scared of me. My wife was miserable, working the night duties, coming back home. It was miserable. I could never hold on to a job. I started looking at myself as a rejected liability on society.
Oh,
And I
Lord.
said, suddenly, I just thought, I said, even if I do something to myself, nothing is going to happen. Nobody's going to miss me. And then the thought of suicide seemed to be so attractive to me. That seemed like the only solution in my life. And that day, I remember very clearly, I decided I'm going to end my life. I got into a rickshaw, sat down, I told the driver, I said, take me to Juhu Beach. As the rickshaw reached Juhu Beach and I got off, I looked into the beach and I seen a high tide. And I just walked towards the water with a sole intention